Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio. Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 134, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hitson, and with me once again is my best pal, Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
It's going. We're back again. We're talking again.
I know. You know, it seemed like there was this period where it was a while for us to post, and now you can't get rid of us.
I know. It's we can't stand each other, and then we can't stand being apart from each other.
I know. It's like a Nicholas Sparks novel.
I was going to say it's like marriage, but okay, that sounds better.
See, but I'm not married. I wouldn't know. I only know Nicholas Sparks.
Your version is less incriminating, so I'll go with that. So, what has happened to you in the 3 days since I last talked to you?
Has it been 3 days? Wow.
Well, we just did our Man of Steel commentary.
Yeah,
so.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, you know, I had this interesting thing happen that I kind of wanted to bring up because it is a unique thing that I wanted to see if it ever happens to you. So, when we did, not our Man of Steel commentary, but the last episode where we talked about Thor Ragnarok, we wanted to get that in at a timely hour, and so I went and squeezed it into sort of a busy day, and I watched it, and like I said, I felt a little pressure for time, and when I watched it, I was like, that was fine. It's a little long. Humor felt a little forced at times, but it was okay. We did our podcast, and that was kind of my opinion on it. But then I saw it again the next day with someone else, and I was a little more relaxed, and I liked it way more. And I was like, actually, I thought the running time ran just fine, and I laughed quite a bit. And I didn't even realize that they were planning this thing at the beginning, and it paid off so well at the end. And I had a much more pleasant experience with it the second time. And it was interesting because we hadn't posted the episode yet, and I felt a little weird posting the episode with my opinion having changed a little bit on it.
How funny.
So I was wondering if that ever happens to you, where you know, just different circumstances can create different feelings about a movie, and then you revisit it later and you're like, oh, I hate this. Or, you know, vice versa. Like, oh, I actually really like this.
Yeah, I can't say I've had as instantaneous a reaction as you just did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, definitely, I was having a conversation just earlier today on social media about the Hobbit movies, and how, you know, the first Hobbit I got sick in. I think I've told you that story.
Yes.
And the second Hobbit I fell asleep in. And then when I revisited them, you know, right before the third one came out, I was like, wow, these are neither sick-inducing nor fatigue-inducing. And that was a revelation for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like I said, I saw, and it's a weird thing to also see the same film within almost 24 hours. Right.
So having revisited your experience with Thor Ragnarok, what would you like to tell the audience?
I think I sort of feel the way that it seems most people have, but I felt sort of like the odd man out, where I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. But I actually really did. I had a blast with it the second time for some reason, and I really appreciated what they tried to do. I think what I said was it felt like more of the same or something. And then the second time I saw it, I was like, what am I talking about? Like, this is so different. You know, like, they're really trying to do something different here. And I really appreciated what they were doing, the whole buddy thing, and then putting them in this weird situation, and the whole middle part where they're in that other sort of battle royale planet, and then how they have to get back to save Asgard at the same time. Like, I don't know, it really played differently for me. So
it sounds like it managed to hit all your buttons the second time around.
It really did. Yeah, and I in some ways I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but it really did. I really had a blast with it the second time.
Oh.
So,
well, I've seen it a third time since we last recorded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because two of my kids were not able to go because they were sick, and so they were holding it over my head like, no, you said you'd take us, so got a movie pass viewing in. Very happy about that.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, what did you think on a third viewing?
Well, I will say this. I learned something important, and that is that make sure you reserve your seats ahead of time. When a movie's in its second weekend, because I was like the second row up in the far left corner.
Yeah.
And that's just You can't watch a movie that way.
No, I remember I saw Gladiator in the front row. I mean, all these years later, that's what I remember about the movie Gladiator. It was so unpleasant.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have seen it twice already, so really, I had like my eyes closed and I was just listening to it. I was listening to the banter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my opinion has not changed. I enjoyed it just as much. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, thumbs up from Brian.
there you go. Anything else that you've seen recently?
Yeah. Well, thanks to your Nostalgia Theater podcast, the last episode where you interviewed Danny Bilson, who co-wrote The Rocketeer, I revisited The Rocketeer.
Oh, how funny.
And I have to say, I really enjoyed that episode. And he also co-created The Flash. Is that right?
The TV series. That's
TV
right.
series.
Yeah.
Yes, I should say The Flash. The Flash TV series for CBS back in the 90s. And, man, I love The Rocketeer. I mean, it's such a weird movie where it almost feels out of time in a way. It feels like a 90s movie, but it almost feels timeless in a weird sort of way also, with the score and the way that it's filmed by Joe Johnston. And Bill Campbell is like this. He's perfect as the lead.
He's so charming.
He's so great. And it's like, I don't remember him from anything else. And
he's had a healthy TV career.
That's good. Good for him.
Yeah, he was on a show called The Killing.
Yeah, I recall that show, but I didn't watch it.
That was an AMC show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Oh,
yeah.
Such a mad crush I had on her.
Oh, I know. I mean, we were like 11 or something that came out. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And what was Peavy? I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin. Yeah, he's great. The dialogue is really crackles.
Paul Sorvino, Timothy Dalton. I mean, it's a great cast from top to bottom.
It's great. It's a really, really great adventure film, and it feels like it gets lost a little bit, aside from some people who are still passionate about it. But yeah, I was really happy revisiting that.
And only because we've been talking about Superman so much lately. The actor who plays Malcolm, the guy who dresses up like the clown and the Rocketeer has to rescue, he played Jonathan Kent on Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
So he was he's occupied multiple comic movie franchises.
Wow. Well, and I would also say, I mean, I already said it, but the score, James Horner's score it's iconic, honestly. I mean, that I think people don't even realize it, but that score has been used.
You've heard it in like every trailer.
Everything. Sports, like whenever like the World Series, they used to play it when they'd be doing montages, catching you up on the season. I mean, that score was ubiquitous.
Sadly, the one thing people don't associate the score with is The Rocketeer.
Yeah. But I mean, families looking for a great movie to show their kids, like an adventure film. It's great.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I remember at the time, if you remember, that was right in the midst of Timothy Dalton's James Bond tenure.
That I don't remember that.
Because that was like 1991, right? So we had no reason to think he wouldn't be back as James Bond, having done two. And I remember being like, "Wow, James Bond is a bad guy."
Oh, funny,
I just thought how crazy that was.
Yeah,
yeah. It's. Let me second Brian's recommendation for that.
Yeah, and for being an early '90s movie, every now and then some of the VFX will be like, a little dodgy, understandably. But I was actually impressed with how great they still looked in most of the movie.
Yeah, I think especially the flying effects, when you look at them with 26 years of distance, you have to sort of be like, not too shabby,
Yeah, which isn't
the compositing.
Joe Johnston at the helm, right? I mean, he's kind of a VFX guy.
He's an effects guy, yeah. By the way, Joe Johnston, I don't know if you saw this, he's announced that he's retiring from directing.
Yeah, he's got one more movie in him.
Yeah, which I guess kind of makes sense because directing was never his first love.
Right. Well, with that in mind, what does he do on the side? I mean, does he still do other things on the side, or is he just sort of like, I'm happy, I can retire now?
I remember talking to Joe Johnston many years ago, and he talked about how if he had his way, he would just spend his time like digging for dinosaur bones. He's a big like dinosaur aficionado, so I think that he's at a point now where he's had enough success and he's done enough that he can just kind of, he doesn't need to direct movies, so he doesn't need to.
That's cool.
He can dig for dinosaur bones.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, I mean, he was one of the chief designers on the original Star Wars films. So he designed Boba Fett's armor and half the ships. And
yeah, a lot of the stuff that we sort of intrinsically link to that franchise is from his pencil.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last film he's doing, by the way, is the Silver Chair, which is a Chronicles of Narnia reboot.
Yeah, kind of a soft reboot, right?
My understanding is it's cut ties completely with any of the previous movies.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess those kids are probably all grown up now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there have been 3 Narnia movies up to now, and then they're just kind of they're restarting it, but with this one. I'm not familiar with the Narnia movies. I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, yeah, I remember liking the books, and the movies, they just feel a little sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they emerged like sort of in the post Lord of the Rings, in the midst of the Harry Potter era, and they felt sort of out of time.
Yeah, yeah. And like now I'm going to watch it like twice in 24 hours and be like, I loved Chronicles of Narnia.
Next episode, yeah. Well, I have not had a chance to really see anything recently, but I did have another. This is like Zacky's Celebrity Encounters. I met Gary Oldman and Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this story.
So they were in town for the movie Darkest Hour, which is directed by Joe Wright and stars Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill, and he will win an Oscar for this performance.
Oh yeah.
I'd say just pretty much hand him his Oscar now, you know. And by the way, in our next episode, I'll have my interview with Joe Wright about the film, so you can.
Joe Wright.
Looking forward to sharing that too. But it's funny because this is actually the second time that I've met Gary Oldman. Because if you remember, I also met him a couple years ago after the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes premiere.
Right.
And I was just thinking, you know, like, I'm at that point now where it's like, yeah, I've met Gary Oldman twice.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where you're like, you know, I lead an occasionally interesting life. Like, it's pretty cool, you know? But I will admit, I was nervous the first time I talked to him, and I was just as nervous the second time because I realized I don't know what to ask him.
Yeah.
He's an intimidating guy. I don't know.
Oh, really? How so?
I mean, he's very genial. Don't get me wrong, but he's Gary effing Oldman.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like I don't know what to say that would not sound doofusy.
Yeah.
So I just kind of listened to him talk.
Yeah. Well,
but I will admit.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say because this was kind of a mixer. So, like,
yes.
how does that flow go with the? You know what I mean? It's like there's two people that obviously everyone wants to talk to.
Yeah.
In a room. So how does that kind of work? I mean, is it sort of...
It's not like 100 people in a room, which is nice.
Yeah.
So it's more like, you know, like 30 maybe.
Okay.
And that's sort of manageable, right? So usually what will happen is that the talent is sort of mingling and they're working their way through the crowd. So they'll either come to you or you can sort of gradually work your way to them and they'll stop and they'll talk to you. It's kind of... It's nice because you get that it's sort of... There's like a little bit of the ritual involved of the reason they have to do this is because they're trying to pump the movie's awards chances, right? And you can tell some of them are more comfortable doing it than others, but they're always genial about it, which is nice. It isn't. I always say this, like I keep dreading that like Bruce Willis Red 2 situation, you know, when he just went off on that guy asking the questions. I've never had something like that. And these kind of meet and greets are really nice because you do get to be, you catch them at, like, they're not having to perform in the same way as during a junket. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of nice. For example, after talking with Gary Oldman, I stepped outside and there was Ben Mendelsohn. He's just smoking a cigarette. And I went up to him, and he's like, hi, and he reaches out and shakes my hand. And he was so genial. And so I will admit, I 100% geeked out, and it doesn't matter all the other great performances he's done. I'm like, so you built Death Star, right? And that was crazy, right? I was like, so, like, when Darth Vader choked you, that was like, what was that like? You know?
I mean, yeah, you gotta. He's in the same room as Darth Vader.
He was very he was very patient with me. Let's put it that. I told him, I was like, I gotta tell my kids I met director Krennic. And then when I was taking a picture with him, he's like, hold on, let me put on my Krennic face, and he put on this very stern face, which I loved.
Actually, I saw that picture and I wondered if he was in a bad mood or something. But no,
isn't that
that's
funny?
the brilliance of Ben Mendelsohn.
I know, isn't that funny? I did tell him a fun story, which is about a year ago. I met Joel Edgerton for Loving, and for the movie Loving, not for Loving from. I realize that sounds. Yeah. I met Joel Edgerton for some Loving.
Yeah.
Also, my second time meeting Joel Edgerton, but that's kind of cool.
You've had some interesting experiences with him. That's a whole different story.
A whole separate conversation, yeah. But so one of the questions that was a roundtable, and somebody asked him, "Was like, who's an actor who you really look up to and admire?" And he's like, he didn't skip a beat. He's like Ben Mendelsohn. And so I was like, we talked to Joel Edgerton a year ago, and this is what he said. And he's like, he said that, really? And he's like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for that, And it's like. I was like, wow, I gave him a cool story,
Yeah, that, and then who was that? Andrew Garfield. You keep giving gifts.
I'm a gift giver, Brian.
Yeah.
It's what I do.
I give gifts. Yeah.
So that was fun. So, like I said, you can listen for my interview with the director, Joe Wright, about Darkest Hour in our next episode, but I definitely wanted to share my experience hanging out with Director Krennic and Commissioner Gordon in one night.
That's pretty cool.
I've stood next to Commissioner Gordon, which is as close as I'll ever get to being Batman, I think.
Very cool. Yeah.
Moving on, we do have some listener letters. And so these are actually some comments that we got about our commentary that we just dropped, our Man of Steel commentary. I'm very gratified by the fact that we dropped our commentary Sunday morning or Saturday morning, whenever it was, and like right away people checked it out.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. It's always nice, and then seeing people react to it, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, people who do not like the movie, and we've acknowledged that it is a very polarizing film. Even people who do not like the movie were like, I still want to hear you guys talk through it or talk about it. And that's nice. It's a good feeling. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this is from Rob Kelly. He says, enjoyed the commentary, fellas. I'm still not wholly convinced of the movie's merits as much as you guys, but nevertheless, it was very entertaining to hear you guys talk about it. And one specific point, I do agree, even as the co-host of Superman Movie Minute, plug, check that out, it's a great podcast, the 1978 movie is not the be-all, end-all of Superman. So any new movie should have the right to chart its own course and not worry about genuflecting at it. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And, you have to imagine that there were people when the 1978 movie came out and this Christopher Reeve whippersnapper shows up. There had to be people who were like, what are you talking about? George Reeves is Superman.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
There can only be one Superman. And he was dead by then, so I guess it wasn't exactly the same thing. But still.
Yeah, of course.
That image was, George Reeves is about as different looking from Christopher Reeve as you can imagine. But for a whole generation, he was what they thought of as Superman.
Right.
Another comment, this is from Matt Ev, and he says, there's a lot to like about this film and very little that I find particularly irksome, except the retroactive taint from BVS. Retroactive Taint, by the way, is the band I used to be part of.
Yeah, at Coachella next year.
That's right. He goes on, one of the things about MOS I really like is that it's the origin of Superman as a character. He's only really starting to become Superman at the end of the movie, having undergone his first major test, whereas Chris Reeve was fully Superman as soon as he put on the suit. Yeah, that's true, because that movie basically just skips past his training.
Yeah, and that's something, I don't remember if we mentioned it, but that's something I like about it too.
Yeah. It made me excited for the follow-up, like this was just the beginning, that in the next film we'd see a more fully realized Superman. Instead, we got some moping and then he died. Straight from origin to death, with nothing in the middle to make either resonant.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't disagree with that. And then he says, and yes, Henry Cavill is outrageously handsome.
Right?
It's again, it's a damn shame, because when you have genetics that are that perfect, you're stealing good genes from the rest of us.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I had a good time revisiting that film first of all. But
I did too. Yeah, hey, any chance I can spend talking about Superman,
Yep.
it's fine with me.
Yep.
So I appreciate those comments, and please keep them coming. We have one more here. This is from Tyler Patrick, who followed up on a plot point that you asked about, Brian, and I didn't have time to get into it, but he was gracious enough to message me. And I don't know if you remember this, but you asked me how Superman can have a child with Lois Lane.
Yes.
As
I remember.
Comics. So he says, hey, man, people have most likely already said this, but here goes. Jonathan Kent, the son, that's Superman's son, his name is Jonathan, was born during Convergence, which is an event when the pre-Flashpoint Superman and wife Lois were trapped on another planet. Clark had no powers, and because of this, Lois was able to get pregnant and have their son. John was delivered by Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman. Do you understand any of what I just read?
As soon as you got about 10 words deep, I closed my eyes because I realized I was going to have to focus. But actually, yes, I did.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So there's the story.
Okay, cool.
Now you know. Thank you, Tyler, for that.
Yeah.
I was gonna go into that, but I was like, I could just imagine, during the commentary, I was gonna be like, well, here's what happened. But then I was like, your eyes would have just rolled back into your head like pinwheels.
You just hear a thud. You're like, well, this last hour, Brian will not be joining us.
Yeah, it's just gonna be me. me having the same conversation I would have, and it would just be me talking to you, pause, reacting to something you didn't actually say.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's take a short break, and then we'll come back with today's trailer and headline talk.
Sounds good.
And we're back. That music selection you just heard is by Radioactive Taint. Look for their album.
Yeah, Pitchfork loves them, so you know it's good.
So, dude, we got just a slopping helping of headlines this week.
Yeah, that's because we're not even going to get into a Justice League in this episode. This is just we got a lot to cover.
We got so much news to cover. I was like, let's make it a twofer. So let's get into that. But before we get into headlines,
Grace. Yeah.
Sorry. Jeez. Yeah, no. He hasn't had much of a career since That 70s Show went off.
Isn't it weird how that movie In Good Company feels like it never happened?
Is that the one with Dennis Quaid?
Yes, where he's like a George W. Bush sort of type, and it's like about American Idol and terrorism and.
No, you're thinking of American Dreams.
Oh, that's right. But he is in that, right?
Dennis Quaid is in that, but Topher Grace is not.
I'm confusing them because I think In Good Company also fell off the face of the earth.
Okay, so there's a large sample of Dennis Quaid's catalog that does not exist anymore, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Remember he was in the first G.I. Joe movie?
Was he really?
Yep, see? There you go.
I don't even remember. I'm sorry, Dennis.
Remember that
he was
movie,
in A Dog's
Dragonheart?
Purpose. I saw
that. Which one?
A Dog's Purpose.
Was that was just recently, right?
Yeah, about the dog that reincarnates. And
I heard that movie is terrible. Is it in fact terrible?
It's very saccharine. It's very
okay.
Sweet.
So terrible. I take that.
I didn't mind it, but for what it was, let's put it that way.
Okay, that's a red flag right there.
It's a dog movie. I mean, it's like you can't get mad watching a dog for like an hour and a half, but it's also a dog. Like I just love my owner because I'm a dog.
But like whenever you're couching a critique as well, it's good for what it is. Like that's not a ringing endorsement, right?
Yeah. Well.
Think about this. If you were judging a person that way, if you were judging like a date that way, well, he's good for what he is. Would you want to be described that way?
But he's not for me. Actually, but I didn't realize I was going to have to defend A Dog's Purpose tonight. But I was, like I said, it's cheesy. It's overly sweet. It's just a dog being cute for 90 minutes. But I didn't mind watching a dog be cute for 90 minutes. But I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. But there are certain people that I would recommend it to.
Okay, fair enough. Sense? Would you recommend it to me?
No.
Okay.
Would I recommend it to my parents? Yes, I would.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The movie that we have in our trailer talk, I just based on the trailer, I would recommend it to you, Brian.
I would recommend it to you too.
Yay! We should host a podcast together.
I know.
So this is The Post. This is the Steven Spielberg directed movie that I think Spielberg made like in between setups of Ready Player One.
Like literally. Like he started this movie in March.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then he cast it, shot it, posted it, and now it's going to be up for awards. Like it's coming out in a couple weeks.
That's bananas. Okay, let's play some of the trailer audio.
Yeah.
This is a devastating security breach that was leaked out of the Pentagon. The most highly classified documents of the war.
The Times has 7,000 pages detailing how the White House has been lying about the Vietnam War for 30 years. The way they lied, those days have to be over.
Okay, people are concerned about having a woman in charge of the paper. That she doesn't have the resolve to make the tough choices.
Thank you, Arthur, for your frankness.
Okay, so to me, you put Tom Hanks in a Steven Spielberg movie, my ticket's already sold.
I mean, yes. Spielberg movie. I'm just going to go. I'm always sight unseen. Always going to.
Unless it's the BFG.
Oh, that's true. I didn't see that.
Yes.
Very true. Very true. Did you see it?
I have not seen it.
Yeah. It's on Netflix, and I toy with the idea of it sometimes, but I haven't done it yet. Anyway,
Well,
The Post.
Yes.
Spielberg, John Williams score. I'm in. We're there, of course. And also, you and I, we've talked about this before, but we really love journalism movies.
Yeah, this is my sweet spot.
Yeah, like things about the process of journalism, Spotlight, Shattered Glass, All the President's Men. We like that stuff. So, you know what was interesting though? Oh, well, and we talk about this too. That Spielberg's kind of in his Papa Spielberg phase right now.
Yes.
And there's some movies, Bridge of Spies. I like Bridge of Spies, but I liked it enough.
I admire Bridge of Spies more than I like it.
That's the better way of putting it. I watched it and I was like, I enjoyed watching that. I might have checked my watch once or twice. Performances are great, whatever. I felt like the Janusz sort of shimmer was out of control, actually.
That's the movie where I was like, I'm kind of done with Janusz Kaminski.
Yeah, because the movie doesn't call for it at all. And I was very pleased. I even wrote a note to bring this up that I did not see it in the trailer for this.
Yeah, I had to check afterwards, and he is, in fact, the DP on this movie.
I really appreciate that. I don't mind if a certain movie has it if it calls for it. Something like Minority Report, right, where the future is supposed to be a little bit hard to see because it's so bright and shiny and whatever.
Right.
Like what Abrams says he was going for the new Star Trek. Like, I get that. But this, you don't need the glint off of all the typewriters in the typing pool and whatnot. So I was very happy to see that didn't seem to be the case.
Yeah.
But anyway, what did you think? What were your impressions of what we saw?
Well, we should say what the movie is about. So this is a docudrama about the Pentagon Papers, and it stars Tom Hanks as Ben Bradley, who, as editor of the Washington Post, in later years, he presided over the Watergate story. Mm-hmm. And so in All the President's Men, Ben Bradley is played by Jason Robards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when that's set in relation to this, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't either, actually. I saw that, I was looking at the summary, it says something about taking place over, 4 presidencies?
Yeah,
right?
I saw that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm not really sure, but again, it's you have a crusading journalism movie. I'm already on board. You have Tom Hanks in it. I'm extra on board. And then you have it directed by Steven Spielberg. Okay, done.
There's so many people in this movie. I mean, also Bob Odenkirk. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Very happy
and
to see
David
him.
Cross. Bob and Dave.
Wow, yeah. And Carrie Coon. She was in the last season of Fargo, and she was so good in that.
And Bradley Whitford I saw. And Bruce Greenwood, who is like Mr. Character Actor now.
Yeah.
Right? He's in everything.
Yeah.
He's in Mark Felt, the Liam Neeson movie that just came out.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of, whenever you need a 70s set period drama, I guess you get Bruce Greenwood. He plays Robert McNamara, by the way, who was Secretary of Defense under the Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty great cast. Michael Stuhlbarg, he's another pretty much like if you have like a distinguished ensemble, Michael Stuhlbarg is in it.
Yep. Always delivers.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful. You know, I'm hoping for something interesting. You know, I was a little bit disappointed by Mark Felt. You might remember.
Yes.
And that was one I was looking forward to. So now I got all my marbles on this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I hope with Bridge of Spies again, it felt like there was a lot of interesting things going on and history going on, but it felt a little, I guess I hate to use this word again, but a little sleepy, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I just hope that this one has some tension to it and some snap to it. And I mean, if anyone can do it, we know it's Spielberg. I just hope that that's what he's going for, because that just seems to be what they're selling. Yeah.
Well, and the Post. It was going to be called The Papers. The Post comes out on December 22nd.
Okay.
So by then you will have seen The Last Jedi about 4 times already. So
you're not kidding.
You know,
my little Star Wars tradition. Yeah.
You'll be in the mood for something slightly more grounded than that.
Yeah.
Moving on, we do have some headlines. So, boy, do I ever have some headlines.
Here we go.
So take a sip of water, take a deep breath, and let's get going here.
Yeah.
So this is the big one right here, and jeez, Brian.
I know. Jeez, Oma. Jeez.
It's really this. So I said in a previous episode, and I was only partially joking, that we should just like make it a new section, like creepy sexual predator corner.
Yep.
Where like the latest, long-time pervo is revealed in Hollywood, and who is this week's winner or loser or both? Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Brian, this one hurts.
Yeah, I think it felt that way for a lot of people. I mean, he was kind of at least say 2 years ago, I mean, he was the guy.
He really was.
He was the comedian. He had the show that everybody was like, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's winning all the awards, and he could do whatever he wanted. He had complete creative control over all the stuff he was doing. He would make movies and post them on his own webpage and make profit.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was yeah. So it's very disturbing and sad, just to, like you say, the reaches of this thing just keeps, every morning you wake up and there's a new little alert on your phone with some celebrity. You're like, are you kidding me?
The thing with Louis C.K. is that I've been a fan of his now for more than 10 years at this point.
Wow.
And I mean, I listened to his albums front, back, and sideways. I mean, I just internalized his cadence and how he worked through a joke, and just the way he looked at a scenario and found the humor in it. I mean, I called him a genius constantly, and I think his comedy was genius, many aspects of it. There's a video online by a YouTube guy named Nerdwriter, and it's like how Louis C.K. tells a joke or writes a joke or something like that. And it just it methodically goes through just one joke that Louis C.K. tells and just kind of picks it apart and looks at all the machinery under the hood. Mm-hmm. And you watch something like that and you're like, man, this guy is he's the real deal, And then you find out that for several years now, he's been forcing women to watch him masturbate.
Mm-hmm. Which is surprising that this is not the first time we're hearing about this in the last couple of weeks with one person.
That's right. Yeah, that's
very
right.
weird trend.
It really is, and it's. I mean, a couple of things actually. Number one, this is not a sudden revelation in that it had actually been out there in the ether for a while now.
Yes.
A couple of years.
Yes.
So that's number one. But number two, like, to his credit, he did release a statement. At least it comes just short of a full apology, but he acknowledges, hey, I did this. Mm-hmm. What they're saying is true, which that right there separates him from basically everyone else who's still denying it. Mm-hmm. But and he talks about like, I had power over these women and they admired me and I abused that power, whatever. Which that's, you know what, he's saying something, that's something. But what made you think that was okay?
I know.
Like that. This is my thing, Brian. Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, what goes through your mind where somebody enters your space and you're like, hey, do you mind if I beat off in front of you?
You know, it's funny. It really does when he says he felt he had this power. Doesn't that just seem like almost a parody of what someone with ultimate power would think that they are capable of?
Yeah.
You know, but here we are. Like we're seeing that this is what those people who have that in their mind are actually doing.
Like, to me, it's like, what reaction are you expecting from this? Like, what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because no one will be comfortable. No one will be okay with that.
Yeah.
Your significant other would probably not be okay with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, the fact that he's like, I abuse my power, but like, he doesn't get at, like, why would you do this to begin with?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that he stops just short of apology. Why do you think he didn't do that?
You know, you read his statement and maybe in his mind he thought he did apologize, you know?
I found that kind of fascinating because I know people were really bothered by this one because he had so many fans.
Yeah.
And I saw, I would say, a good number of people like wanting to try to reconcile this in their minds and forgive him. But it's just sort of fascinating to me in what he wrote that he didn't even... What he wrote was very clever and very him. But yeah, that he didn't actually apologize, I find fascinating. Yeah,
it's... Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know? And here's the other problem, is that so much of his humor... I mean, like a good 30% of his humor is, like, masturbation humor.
Right.
Which makes it extra icky because it's not like ironic commentary. It's just him being a pervo.
Yeah. Like everything's recontextualized now.
Yeah, I mean, he has this one joke where he talks about how you can tell what kind of person you are based on how quickly after 9/11 you masturbated again.
That sounds like a very Louis C.K. joke.
It's a very Louis C.K. joke. And he's like, for me, it was between when the first tower fell and the second tower fell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, if you don't, the terrorists win.
Right.
Which is a great punchline.
Yeah.
But it's less so when you're like, he probably actually did. Like,
no, I feel terrible. I'm laughing, but it's too ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. You know? So definitely, but it's also crazy how quickly the bottom just friggin' fell out from his career.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with all these people, right? I mean, well, he was immediately removed from HBO, right? And his movie, which I'm actually something you can talk about here, but he had a movie that was just about to come out, and at first they canceled his premiere. Yeah.
So he has this movie out that he wrote and directed and stars in called I Love You, Daddy. And I had read the plot synopsis.
Yeah.
And he plays this guy who, he's like a TV writer or something, he dates like the people he works with. Meanwhile, his daughter, who is like 17, hooks up with this older director, kind of a Woody Allen type, played by John Malkovich. Mm-hmm. And I read the synopsis for that a few months ago. I was like, that's kind of weird. And that's a little creepy, you know? Mm-hmm. And then he, you know, he was gonna be hitting the promo trail for it this past week. And then the story drops. Like, literally, he was supposed to be on Colbert's show, and they canceled his appearance in anticipation of this story breaking in the New York Times.
Wow.
And then it was like, oh, that's not good. And then the story broke. And then, of course, everybody just kind of, you know, hot potato. Never mind. Mm-hmm. And so the next morning, I get an email from the publicist who works with the Orchard, which is the release company. And it's just like, the release of I Love You, Daddy has been canceled. I was like, oh, okay. And then that afternoon, I go to my mailbox, and what's waiting for me? A screener of I Love You, Daddy.
Wow. Do you think
because they mailed out the screeners? Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they kind of wish the scandal broke a week earlier. Mm-hmm. Because they could have saved, you know, because if I got the screener, then like every critic in America got it.
Right.
right? So there's like the production costs and everything else that they have to eat it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's this movie that's probably never going to be released theatrically, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know what you did with a movie like that, because they're dropping it completely, right?
Yeah, they've bought the film, so they own it.
Oh, I see. They didn't produce it.
Yeah, because
he probably did it on his own.
It was like probably independently financed, but they own it, so it's not like it's not like they're just distributing it or something.
Yeah,
they own it, so it's not like he can buy it back and sell it on his website or something.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, would you even want to? Like,
I know. I think I'm gonna butcher this, but SNL had a joke basically where they made it like the movie poster was called Exhibit A now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically,
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen the movie. I do plan on seeing it at some point. But I saw that Matt Zoller Seitz released a review on RogerEbert.com.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a brief portion of his review. He says about the film, he says, it's as bad as you've heard.
Really?
He said it was that bad even before the news broke, but the news makes the experience of seeing it and thinking about it even more unsettling.
Huh.
So, when you see this film, as some of you will, out of grim curiosity or historic interest, you might be as appalled as I was when I saw it a couple of weeks before its distributor pulled it from release and realized he'd been playing the entire world for a bunch of suckers.
Wow.
So he doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
And my notes consist of a single sentence. Quote, "It's like he's rubbing it in our faces."
That was his note before all of this?
Yeah.
Like rubbing what in our faces?
So it says here, if there's one thing we know for sure about people who are accused of indecent exposure, it's that the thrill of getting away with it is the true source of their power.
I see.
In retrospect, much of Louis now plays like a dry run for what he'd do on the big screen with I Love You, Daddy. Mm-hmm. The show exposes its true self deftly enough that you aren't sure you saw what you saw. This film leaves the raincoat open while its owner makes eye contact and dares you to deny what's happening.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, I haven't read the whole review. I saw bits and pieces of it, but that's not reassuring.
No.
So there is kind of this morbid curiosity about watching the movie.
Oh, I completely agree. I'm sure I would probably check it out if I had it in my, sent to me in the mail.
Yeah. But by the way, it's not, I mean, the show Louis has been canceled on FX. It's not just that. He was supposed to be in Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yeah.
That's done.
He's like the
he was supposed to be as the lead character, right? He was supposed to be on The Night of Too Many Stars, which is the comedy special on HBO. He's been kicked off of that.
I just saw a poster for that, and his name is prominently featured on there.
Yeah. Well, oops.
Yeah.
And then also, you can no longer watch Lucky Louie, the sitcom he did like 10 years ago.
Right.
So he has dropped down the memory hole. Here's my question for you, though. Does he come back from this?
I have absolutely no idea. Certain people, no. Kevin Spacey, I doubt it. Possibly. And I'm not saying I support this, but if there's anyone who could, I could maybe see it be him, and he'll be like one of these people where he still kind of has his people, right?
Sure.
Sort of like
Yes.
like a Mel Gibson, honestly. You know what I mean? Where he's in the like number 2 opening movie this weekend, but there's some people that will never look his direction again. But there are other people that will like, and just kind of.
I mean, not to in any way justify what he did, but is being a pervo the same as being a predator?
I know. I these are like I can't even. I'm just saying like the essence of it. Like I wonder if there's some people that don't want to let go of him in some way, or feel like he's misunderstood, or I don't know. He's one of those people, and I'm not saying that's me because I don't, but I could possibly see him having some people hang on still.
Sure.
I mean, what about you?
I mean, I in the immediate term, I can't even listen to his stuff, you know?
Well, and the only reason I say this is because, to my surprise, was the amount of people who thought his apology was good. Well, I call it an apology, but his response.
Yeah, but here's my problem, right? It's something that he knew was out there, right? Because Mark Maron just today talked about how he had actually asked Louis C.K. about these charges that people had made over the years, recently. Mm-hmm. And his response was, well, it's just rumors, and I don't want to address it. I don't want to give it air. So in other words, he lied,
right,
about whether they were true, or to a friend, right?
Right.
And again, what gets back to for me is it's so creepy what he did.
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? Like, again, that's not a thing normal people do.
Right.
And that's screwed up. So like, let me put it this way. Not a great analogy, but like Pee Wee Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he got in trouble because he was jerking off in an adult movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've never been to an adult movie theater, but I would assume if you're going to do that, that's where you do it.
Right. If you are to do that outside of your home, sure.
Sure.
Right.
Like, I would assume that's what people do in a venue such as that.
Yes.
So, to me, the fact that he came back from that is not that shocking.
Right.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yes, because there's no one else involved with this.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's just him kind of embarrassing himself, but he's not forcing people, unwilling participants, into the situation.
Yeah, I mean, to me, anybody who would ask somebody to watch you do that, and then because by the way, he didn't just be like, hey, can I do this in front of you? He blocked the door so that they had to watch him do it.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, as long as people do not forget that, then no, I don't think he'll be coming back. But the only reason here's my math when it comes to this. Yeah.
If you are disrobed and everyone else in the room is still robed, you're clearly in the wrong.
Right.
That's just math.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good rule of thumb, actually. They should print that out on cards.
I mean, it's just weird to me because, like, that's the common thread, right? Because there was this similar thing about Richard Dreyfuss, of all people.
I know.
Where this woman's like, yeah, he was like coming on to me, and then he was just like showing me his thing.
I know.
And he issued a statement. To his credit, he issued a statement where he was very apologetic, but he says, I didn't show him my thing. And the woman who accused him then responded to his thing, to his statement, saying, why would I make that up?
Right.
That's such a weirdly specific thing to make up. And I'm inclined to agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would, like, if that's something that you're forced to look at, you would remember that.
Yeah.
And I'm always, like, to me, it's like, what response do people expect when they do that?
Yeah. I do not know.
Hey, look at this. Huh? Like, what are you hoping is going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, I do not know.
Anyway, speaking of creepy pervert people,
Yeah.
Since that seems to be what we're talking about. Now that you mentioned Kevin Spacey, this is kind of crazy. The fallout from his immolation is continuing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in a new movie called All the Money in the World, and this is directed by Ridley Scott. It stars Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams, and this was being positioned as like a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Kevin Spacey because he plays J. Paul Getty.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, once everything broke about Spacey, the Oscar chances for this movie were looking to be kiboshed completely, and nobody could figure out what to do with it. And so Ridley Scott decides, okay, we're just going to cut out Kevin Spacey and we're going to reshoot his role in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the crazy thing: the movie is due to come out December 22nd.
Yeah,
and so that's like 5 weeks away from now, 6 weeks away from now, and they intend to they intend to keep that release date while reshooting every piece of footage with Kevin Spacey and replacing him with Christopher Plummer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty bonkers.
That is bonkers. And apparently articles have come out since where they said that they think this reshoot is going to cost $10 million against what was originally a $40 million budgeted movie, which is crazy.
Wow.
And it'll take about 8 to 10 days to shoot, and Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg will need to return.
Well, and I don't know if you saw this, but they asked Christopher Plummer yesterday or maybe earlier today about what happened, and he expressed sympathy for Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
and
no.
he said
Really?
It's really sad what happened to him. So since then, they've actually announced that Christopher Plummer's footage is now being reshot, and he's going to be replaced by just a CGI mouse.
Now that I'd see.
Yeah. So I don't know why Christopher Plummer felt the need to be sympathetic to Kevin Spacey, but that is true. He said, I think it's very sad what happened to him. Kevin is such a talented and terrifically gifted actor, and it's so sad. It's such a shame. That's all I can say.
Is that
because
out of
that's
context?
it.
Like, is he just talking about the whole thing altogether?
That I don't know. This is via Vanity Fair.
Okay.
And
Replaced
Yeah, I
by
don't know.
a cartoon mouse.
say again?
Replaced by a cartoon mouse.
A CGI
The
cartoon.
kidnappers want, all this money in ransom. Give them nothing. Nibbling on some cheese. I would totally watch that.
Here's the thing, though. Like, first of all, I think Christopher Plummer is a great choice because he's Christopher Plummer and he's great.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about an accused pedophile, maybe don't talk about what a hardship it is for the pedophile.
I know.
Right?
You got to imagine that someone immediately just like slapped him on the back of the head and yanked him away from whoever he was talking to.
Right. So here's the quote here. He says, "It's really not replacing Spacey. It's starting all over again. Although the situation is very sad, I'm very saddened by what happened. But what can I do? I've got a role. I admire Ridley Scott, and I'm thrilled to be making a movie for him." So, in other words, they have 10 days that they've set aside to very quickly reshoot everything that Kevin Spacey did. Now, you saw the trailer for the movie, I'm assuming, right?
I did after this happened.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And so it was interesting seeing Kevin Spacey throughout and thinking in a month and a half, none of this will look like this anymore.
So this trailer now is going to sort of be like, remember the first trailer for Spider-Man in 2002?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yep. Because it had the Twin Towers in it.
Yeah, so for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, the very first trailer for Spider-Man was released summer of 2001, and it has these bad guys are escaping in a helicopter, and then they get caught in a spider web in between the World Trade Center buildings. And so, of course, after 9/11, that trailer was pulled. I feel like this is a situation where that footage is just never going to see the light of day. I can't imagine. Like, you're not going to have like the Blu-ray with like, oh, here's the alternate accused pedophile footage.
Yeah. No, I doubt. I doubt that's...
They're going to drop it down the memory hole.
Yeah.
But the other thought I had, I mean, you mentioned this, that it's going to add $10 million to the budget.
Yeah.
Tell me that more people aren't going to see it now than they would have before.
I'll be honest, I really wasn't even aware of what it was.
Right.
Until now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how many people. Not only because you have to figure it, had they kept Spacey in it, people would have stayed away just because of that. But now you take him out, and the whole story here is how they had to reshoot it so quickly. You're gonna have people who want to see it just to see if they did it.
Yeah, to look at those scenes and for the novelty of it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know
So you
how
wonder,
much box office that accounts for, but there are some people that I know for me, I'll be interested.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think if you're the studio releasing this, and geez, I don't know who is releasing this. Is it Sony?
I think it is Sony, actually.
Of course, it's Sony. It is Sony. You know how I know it's no, it is Sony because Tom Rothman is head of Sony, and Ridley Scott wanted Christopher Plummer originally.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And Tom Rothman, who tends to make bad decisions, let's just say, was like, no, you need a bigger name. You should get Kevin Spacey. And so, of course, they got him. And that's money well spent.
Yeah. And then I think the actual quote when this all happened then was from him was, jeez.
That's right. So that is still due to come out December 22nd. So that's going to be an interesting story right there.
Yeah. That should be a documentary, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
I would
right?
watch the crap out of that.
Just for those 10 days, like
Yeah.
the mad rush, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if it'll just be like Kevin Spacey's body with like a badly composited Christopher Plummer head floating in front of him.
It's funny because you say that and I laugh, but I mean, that's basically what Benjamin Button is, right? And
Yeah.
The Social Network with the.
That would be hilarious, dude, if
Winklevoss
it's
twins.
like if it's this really like terrible effect that you can see right through and Ridley Scott's just like, huh?
In the same clothes he's been wearing for the past couple weeks, like just emerging from the edit bay. Huh? If you squint a little bit, like it kind of works.
Right. Oh man, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit, thank God.
Yeah.
We've talked about careers being dead, and this is an entire universe that's dead, Brian. The Dark Universe, Universal's much benighted attempt at bringing back their Universal monsters. It's been hanging on by a thread, and now it appears to be donezo.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess Alex Kurtzman, Chris Morgan are the quote-unquote masterminds of this.
Yeah.
So, and they're departing.
They're the rats deserting the sinking ship. Now, what's crazy is that Universal was so bullish on this whole thing that they had renovated a whole building dedicated just to their monster universe.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it had all this monster decor and everything else, and now it's just kind of sitting there empty on the lot.
Wow, that's like something that I can't think of right now. Sort of like a monument to, there must be some sort of historical
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
it's like...
I'll fix it in post. I'll add it later.
It's like the Hearst Castle or something, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's weird because this is one of those things where when all of this was being announced, you and I were on this show being like, maybe just like take it easy, guys.
Yeah.
Just pump the brakes a little bit, make a good first movie, and then see where it goes. And shock of shock, The Mummy, which made $409 million worldwide, it made something like $70 million of that domestically, which is catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, once that happened, all the other carefully laid in place threads just kind of started getting yanked out.
Yeah, and things got weird because they were saying that there was going to be The Bride of Frankenstein with Angelina Jolie, and I was like, okay. And then remember we were saying like out of nowhere, and he's like, or it could be Gal Gadot. That'd be great. And you're like, wow, that's a weird thing to say when it seems,
Right.
And then they pulled the plug on that in October. So
yeah, so right now it's like, they're working on the script, and in Hollywood, working on the script, quote unquote, is code for
we got nothing
forever. We're working on the script forever.
Yeah, right.
And it's just funny because The Mummy sets up all these universe building pieces.
Yes.
That whole, Russell Crowe as the Nick Fury character, basically. And, what was that, the organization, what was it called?
I don't even remember.
Enlargium or...
Was it? I really don't.
Prodigium it was called. And then they had all the little like, and look, here's like Dracula's skull, and here's the Gillman's claw, or whatever. Remember all the little things that they put in? Yeah. That none of that will come to fruition now.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's an old story at this point. Like, why are you thinking about a universe?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well,
I think, but I mean, the broader point here, the problem with The Mummy is that it wasn't made with an eye towards just being a good movie. It was made to be a universe launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just not a good movie in it.
Yeah.
Another universe that is sort of chugging along, and, we will be talking about Justice League later in the week once that movie comes out. But Ben Affleck, he is the current Batman, the Batman of record, if you will. Now, he has been making noises for a while now that seem to indicate, if you're paying attention, that he's not long for the cape and cowl.
Yeah. I mean, it's been back and forth, right?
I mean, I think that it's been more back than forth.
Mm-hmm.
Or more forth than back, whichever. whichever way that goes.
Right.
But it's been a pretty clear pattern of him gradually distancing himself from the role.
Do you feel that he has his mind made up, but Justice League has not come out yet, so he has to not make it look like he's doing a complete, like he's not being a liar right now? He's just sort of planting the seeds for his exit.
So this is something that, like, I have to give props to my friends at Batman on Film, Rick Shue and Bill Ramey, because they've been on this story for a while. And I remember Rick Shue telling me before the story broke, he's like, "Hey, Affleck's not going to be directing the Batman." And then and Ben Affleck was on like Jimmy Kimmel or something, the next day or later that week. Yeah, I'm directing and I'm writing. It's gonna be great. And he texted me again. He's like, he's not gonna be doing it. Like he's saying that, but it's not true. And wouldn't you know, like a few days later, he dropped out of that. And then it was gonna be like, it was still based on his script. And then that, and then like each piece kept falling away. And he told me a while ago, or they said on their show that he's not going to be playing Batman in the Solo movie, and no one is even alluding to that happening. Even Matt Reeves has not said anything about Ben Affleck, even though Matt Reeves is directing and writing the Batman movie. But what's most interesting is during the promo tour for Justice League. Like somebody, he was in he was being interviewed along with Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, and Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman. And the interviewer was like, "So Ben, you've played Batman like 3 times. Are you gonna make it an even 5 or something like that?" He's like, "Well, I wouldn't go that far," or something like that. And I'm like, folks, he's not coming back. This is it. He's done after Justice League.
Right.
But he has a quote here from. Let's see, where is it?
USA Today?
It's from USA Today. And yes, here we go. The new Batman movie being developed by Matt Reeves. Here we go. Quote, "It's something I'm contemplating." So that's the Matt Reeves Batman movie. "You don't do it forever, so I want to find a graceful and cool way to segue out of it." He then goes on, "I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Batman is the coolest effing part in any universe. It's effing amazing, and I still can't believe it after 2 films. And Matt Reeves is doing it. I would be an ape on the ground for Matt Reeves, and I think you'll see why I'm so excited to be Batman." I don't know. I still believe he's not going to play Batman in the Solo movie.
It's funny because when you're going to do these superhero films, you have to assume you want to lock down actors for something like 5, 6, whatever movies. And Ben Affleck doesn't seem like the type of actor to do that sort of thing. I'm kind of amazed he did it to begin with, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm wondering what his initial contract was. Was it a 3-movie deal?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then Justice League means he's done.
Yeah, and if you were to do someone for like a 3-movie thing, you imagine it would be a Batman trilogy.
Yeah,
not like when you're trying to do this whole universe building thing and have him pop in and out of stuff.
Well, I think that's why the Marvel people lock you in for 6 movies, at least.
Yeah, which makes sense.
It does, and I mean, some of these, like Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky, he has a 9-picture contract.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's like one of those things, like, that was unheard of, something like that.
Yeah.
That, like, harkens back to the old, like, the studio system.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel, yeah. I work for Marvel, yeah.
I mean, with the Marvel people, like, you've got Hemsworth and Chris Evans. They're sunsetting now with Avengers 3 and 4. But in that time, how many movies have they done? And so you've really had the opportunity to watch them grow and become these characters. I think if you're trying to build a superhero universe, then a 3-picture deal is just antiquated.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure that's the only way they could get him.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, he's a big star. He's also a director. He's got a lot of things that he wants to do. It seems weird that he would tie himself down to something that would require this from him.
I mean, I wonder why he did it to begin with.
Me too. I don't know.
And just to be clear, I think he's a really good Batman.
Yeah. So far.
So when I say I wonder why he did it, that's not a criticism of him, but it's like he didn't need this.
Exactly.
And I wonder if he's taken a career hit because of it. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine he did it strategically, and I don't know what that strategy is. I don't know that it's hurt him necessarily. It's probably prevented him from doing some things that he would have liked to have accomplished.
Yeah.
He just seems like a guy who always has something on his plate. Right.
Well, I mean, like Live by Night. Did you ever watch Live by Night, by the way?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Surprisingly forgettable.
Right? Kind of a swing and a miss.
Kind of vapor, yeah.
Yeah, and that's surprising in and of itself because I don't know about you, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, Ben Affleck directed. I want to watch it.
Gangster movie, yeah. Looked cool.
Yeah. So, I maybe it's just one of those one for me, one for them situations, but I mean, I wonder if he regrets it.
Yeah, possibly. And now he's got the itch to go back and as a filmmaker, go prove himself again or something. And he's stuck
honestly,
in tights.
I'll tell you, the shame of it is he's a really good Batman. I mean, I just rewatched a portion of Batman vs Superman yesterday, and he's so good in the role. I mean, I want to see a real showpiece performance for him.
Yeah, at the very least, I'd like him to be in the Matt Reeves movie. And then
but if Matt Reeves is starting a trilogy, does Ben Affleck feel like committing to that?
Yeah. It would be it'd be wise to get someone who's going to stick around for 3 movies. But I would like to have seen him in it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
it's a shame. So we'll see. But if he's already talking about a cool and graceful exit, we should assume that he's not long for the Batcave.
yeah. It doesn't sound very committed.
Yeah. And by the way, I've said this on Twitter. Like anytime anybody picks up a superhero role, that role comes with an expiration date. So you should just enjoy it while however long it lasts. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, whether you're talking about Robert Downey or Hugh Jackman or whoever. I mean, they're not going to be playing that role forever. Just enjoy it. And Batman, more than just about any other superhero, that there's a ticking clock once you put on that costume the first time.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Warner Brothers and now you got Justice League kicking off, you got to be like, are you kidding me? Now they're all set up.
Although I will say this about Justice League, and again, we haven't seen it, but for all of the bad buzz that movie was combating, I feel like they really got it. Like they got the conversation under control in the month leading up to its release.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it feels like the tenor of the conversation feels very different than, for example, when Batman vs Superman came out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just good vibes from Wonder Woman. It's part of it, maybe.
That could be part of it. And it seems now that people are... social media embargo has been lifted. People seem to be saying nice things about it.
Yeah, just anecdotally.
Yeah.
By the way, while we're talking about these actors in the DC movies, it's worth mentioning about how Gal Gadot, how she has said she's not going to do Wonder Woman 2 if Brett Ratner is involved. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
So, again, doubling back to our scumbag portion of the show. So Brett Ratner, he's another one of these creepy pervert people.
Yeah.
And that's been out there for a while.
Years.
So for literally years, just that he's like a friggin' douchebag.
Yeah.
Olivia Munn told us a crazy story about like a while ago. And it's weird because nobody listened to her.
I know. That's the thing that's most disturbing about all these stories is a lot of these stories have been told already.
Yes.
But no one listened to them or took them seriously or did
Nobody took them seriously.
Yeah.
And the thing, like, of all people, like, how are you going to defend Brett Ratner? Like,
I know.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the guy who made Tower Heist.
Yeah.
Is it worth it, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
But his production company, or whatever, I mean, what is Rat Pack? It's kind of like a funding, like, how does it work?
I don't exactly know. I mean, it is like a production company, right? Like I imagine they co-finance with Warner Brothers to some degree, but I mean, they produced like probably half of everything you saw this year.
Yeah, from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, this past year, I've brought it up to you, but I think during the year where I keep seeing that logo in front of everything I'm watching. So
yeah, it's what Legendary Pictures was.
Yeah.
before. But so his company co-financed Wonder Woman, and so she, to her credit, Gal Gadot was like, I'm not going to do the second one if he's involved, and she's not under contract for the second one,
which is bonkers.
Yeah, but because she had a 3-movie deal and Justice League fulfilled it. So
yeah,
she's so oops, right?
Yeah.
And I was. Go ahead.
No, no, it's good for her. But I think they have cut ties with them, haven't they?
They have, but I wonder if like he gets like a finder's fee or something, having been a part of the first one. You know?
Oh, I see. So she's saying like sever any.
Like I don't want him making any money off this movie.
Yeah.
You know how like if you direct the pilot episode of a show, you become like an associate producer,
right?
And you make money for the rest of it. So maybe it's something like that.
And good for her. Like she is in a unique position now, where you can't make the Wonder Woman 2 without her.
Yeah, you can very easily make it without Brett Ratner. However.
Yep.
Yeah, as I recall, she was supposed to present him with some award.
Yes.
And then she backed out because of these charges.
Right.
And so I think Patty Jenkins presented it, so that's kind of awkward now for her.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Oops. But yeah, he's a scumbag. Yeah, Ellen Page told the story about being on the set of X-Men 3, and him basically outing her.
Yeah.
Before she had come out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with people?
I don't know.
Like, here's my question, Brian. Why is it so hard to just be a person?
I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think these people, it's like, it just seems with all these guys, it's the same thing. It's like this power thing. And it's like the worst parts of them are unleashed. It's
disturbing.
Yeah.
Moving on to following up on something we talked about last time, that Lord of the Rings TV series we mentioned is now gonna be a thing.
Yeah. That's, I saw that and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see.
Right.
It sounds like a good idea. I'm sure someone said it out loud somewhere. But yeah, it looks like this is really happening, and there is a crap load of money involved. Right?
So this is bonkers. It's going to be somewhere between $200 and $250 million up front.
Yeah.
So like before you can call action on a single frame of film, $200 to $250 million will have already exchanged hands just to secure the rights.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not even the budget.
No. And they were saying the budget for a fantasy series of this size is about $100 to $150 million a season.
Yes.
So, yeah, $250 million will be spent before they get to the $100 to the $150 million per season.
Yeah, I mean, that's like cost of admission, basically.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an Amazon show. Mm-hmm. So, the upside for them is that they get to have their, like, Game of Thrones-esque fantasy show that's going to create a lot of buzz. One hopes. The downside is that Amazon Prime membership is now going to be $50,000 a year. I don't know if
yeah.
that's the crappy part they're not telling you. But this is the question I had last time was, what is this going to be? Are you redoing Lord of the Rings? Because I'm not remotely interested in that. And our answer appears to be that this is going to be a prequel to Fellowship of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. So in between The Hobbit and...
I would assume, yeah, because between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings is about 100 years. Or like 80 years or something.
Well, it'll be interesting because you are couched in a little bit, right?
How so?
I mean, like, we know what happens at... Like, is this going to involve the ring at all?
I would assume not, because the ring is in...
Yeah.
The ring is in Bilbo's pocket.
Right.
Like, we know where the ring is, right?
Yeah.
So this would be like the Adventures of Middle-earth.
Yeah. I mean, high hopes, right? It's just one of those things where you spend this much money, you have to have a Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And Game of Thrones is lightning in a bottle.
Yes.
And when I say that, I mean, it already was a very popular book series, but to have it come to life in a way that has been... Like, I don't even like medieval stories very much, and I love Game of Thrones because it's that good. You found the right actors, you found the right look, you got the money, the music, everything is... It's lightning in a bottle. And it was... And I very truly that, because they shot an entire pilot that they pretty much scrapped and recast because it didn't work the first time. So, I mean, that's what it takes to get this thing. And, you know, and you have these other shows like, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying all this, but like Outlander and things like that. I know they exist, but I don't know anyone that watches them.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So I know they're popular. I know they're good. I know they have their
Game of
fans.
Thrones, you're saying, is like a zeitgeist bending show.
Yes. And like this one, when you're spending this much money, it has to be that.
But
And
it's
audacious.
pre-sold. Like, I mean, if let me put it this way, I think it's insane. I can't even process how much money that is. But if you're going to spend that much money, you do it on a Lord of the Rings.
Touche. Like I said,
Right.
I don't really like this medieval stuff, but I will check this out because I do like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a proven franchise where you have 2 trilogies that have grossed, you know, $1 billion plus or however much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. If you're going to do it, I mean, talk about pre-sold properties and whatnot.
I mean, think about it. Like this is something that Amazon can play the long game for, because people are going to watch it for generations. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm assuming, based on the fact that it's set before Fellowship of the Ring, it's meant to exist in the same milieu as the movies and have the same aesthetic or whatever. So, in other words, it's meant to fit right alongside them. Well, geez, I mean, you know, those at least the original Lord of the Rings movies are like an annuity for Warner Brothers, you know? Mm-hmm. People are going to keep watching them. So
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why this show couldn't be successful. I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah, I absolutely see the successful version of this. I can sense it, but yeah, just, man, the casting, the stories, there's a lot riding on this. I don't know. Let's hope they get it right.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, why don't we take a little break and then we'll come back and talk some Star Wars news. Well, Brian, we're back, and I hear some music. So I think that means it's time for Star Wars talk.
It is, and there's been a lot of Star Wars news coming out lately. I guess it shouldn't be surprising because we have Last Jedi approaching, but we were a little surprised to learn that Colin Trevorrow was no longer going to be doing Episode 9, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people assumed that Rian Johnson... Well, it seems like a lot of people at Lucasfilm are very happy with what he's done with Episode 8, so we thought, well, I don't know, is he going to do Episode 9? And he was not. And we were even a tiny bit surprised because we were like, well, he's actually done. He could have done it. But it turns out he couldn't have done it because he is very busy right now coming up with an entirely new trilogy for the Star Wars universe.
Right.
So there's going to be 3 new movies that are we don't know anything about them other than what they've said. That is a little vague, but it's going to take place in a completely different galaxy, is what they're quoted as saying. So does that mean it's outside of the Skywalker saga?
See, I heard
know.
a completely different part of the galaxy.
Oh, I see. So it could... Well, I mean, that's still, like, what does that even mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you say a different galaxy, that doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, are we gonna have any crossover with? I mean, is this about the Empire? Is this about some other sort of thing going on? Obviously, there's got to be some sort of war involved. Right?
Yeah.
But is there going to be any allusions to the characters that we know? Is this an entirely different thing?
That's the weird thing, because I think this is going to be a real test for what the Star Wars label means. Mm-hmm. Like, how far are we willing to take it? Like, if it's a sci-fi fantasy movie that has no lightsabers, or like what things do we need to be able to call it a Star Wars movie?
And we've said, when you're doing these Star Wars stories, like Rogue One or Han Solo or something, it seemed before we knew this news that was your opportunity to slightly break formula. And if you wanted to make the romantic comedy in the Star Wars universe, you could do that. Or if you wanted to make the heist film in the Star Wars universe, you could do that. But this really feels like the first opportunity they have to make a big break. Like, will this score... When you say what is Star Wars, to me Star Wars is Skywalkers and John Williams.
Okay.
So of course lightsabers, blah blah blah. But like when you go and make a whole new trilogy that they seem to be wanting to set apart slightly in a whole new pocket of the universe, does the music have to sound like John Williams?
Right.
Like what is it they're gonna go for? Are they gonna try to make a Thor Ragnarok? You know, like I don't know. I don't know. This is uncharted territory.
I have to give it up for what I can only imagine is the solid job that Rian Johnson did on The Last Jedi.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
clearly they're in love with him.
Doesn't it feel like sort of like this is like the prize at the end of a reality show that none of these directors realized they were competing in?
Yeah, like you get to be the new Lucas.
This is like the rose ceremony, right? Like Trevorrow got voted off, and Josh Trank and Gareth Edwards got close but not quite, and then Rian Johnson. Oh, it's like here's your prize. Create your own trilogy.
Yeah, I mean that's the possibility. If they are going to break the mold a little bit, this feels like the first opportunity that they could possibly do that. Like Rogue One was never going to break because it had to fit in between the movies. Right. So I'm
so
very curious.
in essence, what they're doing is creating a new saga separate from the saga.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it's just weird because it's like I'm trying to think like it's like I'm trying to think of a parallel. And it's hard because how much connective tissue is this going to have with what we already know? And are we interested in following a whole new set of characters,
That's what I was just thinking. I mean, he must have really had a great idea for them with this brand, and as important as it is and beloved as it is, protective. People are so protective of it and possessive of it. He must have had some sort of killer idea where they're like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it feels like Kathleen Kennedy takes some grief for having what could arguably be said as a heavy hand when it comes to overseeing the Star Wars films. But I'm kind of like, well, that's her one job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is she her job is not to let Lord and Miller just follow their muse,
Right.
It's to
maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I mean,
no.
Her job is to keep the trains running on time and make the movies that Disney paid $4 billion for.
Well, and I had a couple thoughts about this. One, I'm kind of glad they've talked about how do we bring Star Wars into the next 10 years, and obviously they're going to do that. And I'm glad that it doesn't seem like they're going to be milking the Skywalker saga until it's dry and doesn't have any importance anymore just to make a buck. Right? Because that would just start to get silly, and then all the movies would lose all their stakes, and it would just play itself out. So in a way, I'm kind of... If it's time to end that story, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. And also, the only thing that we know that they're going to do differently are these Star Wars stories, again, like the Han Solo and possibly a Boba Fett story and whatnot. But at what point does giving stories to all the peripheral characters just become silly?
Right.
So, I mean, that can only go so far as well. Like, this does seem like the natural.
I've said to you before, Brian, I have basically zero interest in seeing the Boba Fett story.
Right.
That does not sound fun to me.
No, I don't know. It depends. If they make it, I'll assume that they have an idea, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I do love that Rian Johnson has at least the self-awareness of what a balancing act this must be. He tweeted, he says, "Obviously, I hope you like The Last Jedi, but man, now I really hope you like The Last Jedi."
Yeah.
Which, man, I mean, that's intimidating,
I mean, yeah, it's interesting that they announce it now. Like, it's basically they're putting all their cards on the table and saying, like, we're putting everything on this guy, and his movie's coming out in a couple weeks. Get excited.
I also
bold.
love I love this meme that I saw on Instagram where somebody took the logo where it would say The Last Jedi. They just put, I better not have to watch Luke Skywalker die with my own 2 eyes, I swear to God.
I saw that, yeah.
Which I think everyone is bracing for that. I got to be honest.
I know. I don't know. I'm not even speculating anymore. I'm just going to take it as it comes.
I'm predicting Luke Skywalker will not die. That's let's see if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But I feel like them killing off Han Solo bought them everybody worrying that Luke will die.
Yes.
So if nothing else.
Yeah. It would be sad if each film just started offing all of our favorite characters. It would start yeah.
I was actually thinking about that. I was like, if we do get to a point where we're now exclusively following, Finn and Rey, etc. Like, you can't just have Luke be like, all right, well, I'm going to be, like, living on this planet here and see you later.
Yeah.
You have to end the characters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, they have some good ideas.
I don't think my heart can handle it.
Must have been pretty.
I don't
good.
think my heart can handle it. If Luke Skywalker's going to die, I just can't do it.
No, I agree. I don't want to see that, honestly. In this next one,
I just I did a Rocky podcast with the Batman on Film guys, and I was telling them the same thing about that. Like, I watched Han Solo die before my eyes. That's enough of my childhood heroes dying. I can't handle anymore.
Right? Are you alluding to Rocky?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
because if you figure you continue those Creed movies at some point, you probably have to have Rocky leave the stage, right?
Right.
And can't do it, Brian.
Yeah, I agree. It's not fun after a while. I mean, every now and then you can do it to shake things up and add some stakes, but I don't want to see all of them go.
Well, you know what it is? I think it starts reminding you of your own mortality a little bit.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't it?
Or, you know what, also, just bring it back to a pure entertainment level. It reminds me of what you said when you watch A New Hope and you meet Han Solo for the first time.
Yeah.
You know his last moment.
Right.
Like, you have that now when you see his first moment.
Yes.
And I kind of don't want to have that for every character.
I totally agree. Yeah, very true. Exactly.
So,
but there is some other Star Wars news.
Yeah, this is kind of, speaking of other pockets of the universe, Bob Iger, Walt Disney CEO, he was talking at a quarterly earnings call and said that they're going to make a live-action Star Wars television show. And this has been talked about for years and years. I remember even with Lucas.
Even before the sale, yeah.
Yeah, if I remember right, didn't he say he had like 50 scripts written?
Yeah.
Something like crazy like that. Which is weird, right? Like, that's sitting somewhere on someone's hard drive. I'd really love to read
It's weird
those.
that they just pulled the plug on it.
Mm-hmm. What's going to happen now? And I assume it's very different. Completely
We're assuming
different,
it's not that show, it's something else.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this is, as is the trend, Disney is going to be launching their own streaming service, and this show will only be available through their streaming service.
Yeah.
So
is that incentive enough for you to sign up for Disney streaming?
Oh, yeah. I completely begrudgingly will do it.
Well, what I've heard is that it will cost less than Netflix's monthly cost.
Which is kind of cool, because they're saying, they have less to offer than Netflix at the moment, so they will charge less.
I mean, here's the thing, right? If Disney were to charge, say, $5 a month, they would easily get the number of subscriptions that they need to make this worthwhile.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, to be honest with you, but are all their films going to be available?
I would assume so. I know that they're pulling their movies off of Netflix so that they can be on the streaming service, so I would assume so.
Because they have this crazy model, the Disney Vault, right? Where not all of their movies are available all the time. So it seems kind of crazy. This would be unprecedented for them to have all of their movies available at the same time in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, between Pixar, Disney, Marvel, and all their other, all the classic characters and everything, come on, it's a no-brainer to have the streaming service. It's like a one-stop destination for family entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I say begrudgingly because it's how many services one has to subscribe to these days.
Right.
But yeah, actually, it seems like a lot of grade A quality content on there. So
kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
So that should be kind of interesting. Do we know when that's due to arrive?
The service is going to be operational sometime in 2019, but they didn't say anything about when the series is going to start.
Okay. Very interesting. And I know that they're pulling all the Netflix Marvel shows are no longer going to be produced after like next year.
Yeah, well, makes sense. Put them all. Well, that's interesting too, because I mean, those shows, some of those are very R-rated.
I was thinking about that. I was like, this probably means the end of the road for that corner of the Marvel universe if it's going to be on a Disney app.
So if you pull, say, like a Luke Cage or Jessica Jones from Netflix, then it's not going to exist anywhere anymore?
I don't know.
Will it exist on that page, but you have to access it a certain way? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess that's something that's going to have to be determined, right?
Is Flight of the Navigator going to be on this thing?
You just love Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, I do.
Is that a Disney movie?
But I mean, it's not available like anywhere. I don't think it's on Blu-ray, at least not in this.
I didn't even realize that's a Disney movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, is Escape from Witch Mountain, like all these like crazy random movies from the 70s, like is this all going to be on here? It's
maybe. There was a movie called The Strongest Man in the World starring Kurt Russell.
Uh-huh.
I want to see that. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, also starring Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Well, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, all those shorts, all that stuff. Who knows? All the Roger Rabbit shorts from the late 80s.
There's like 4 of them, right?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I could keep going.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the series.
Yes.
Can finally be watched again.
Yeah.
Well, that should be an interesting development. Let's see what happens with that.
Yep.
But I think that wraps up Star Wars news for this week, right? Anything?
I think so.
Anything else?
That's some pretty big news. We got a whole new trilogy unrelated to anything that we know coming. I don't know. It's going to be tough to beat that until we basically talk about the new movie.
New trilogy, new TV series coming, and new commentary coming from us. Between now and the time The Last Jedi comes out, you can look forward to me and Brian talking through Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I cannot wait.
Me too. I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm excited to do that. And that's not going to be us shitting all over that movie, I promise.
No, I actually rewatched it recently. And yeah, just a lot of memories.
Sure.
You know, there's just a lot to talk about. And yeah, like you said, not all of it's bad. So
there will be some good, some bad.
Yeah,
you take
some
the
good,
good,
some
you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have, the facts of life.
The facts of life.
Yes. But that's a good place to wrap up this episode. Brian, we'll be back in just 2 short days to talk about Justice League.
Yeah.
We'll have an entire spoiler wall episode dedicated to the big superhero showdown, courtesy of Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, Brian, is there anything you want to hype up for the audience?
Yeah, I work on a great little show called Puppy Dog Pals, which you can see on Disney and Disney Junior. And if you have little kids and you love puppies, I say check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it.
There we go. And as for me, you can find me at my website, ZakisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Instagram and Twitter handle. You can also find me at Huffington Post, where my movie reviews go up regularly, as does this show, as does the Nostalgia Theater show. Got a fun Nostalgia Theater episode coming up later this month, featuring my interview with Eric Lewald, producer of Fox's X-Men animated show from 1992.
Cool.
So, that show is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, so we got a fun conversation coming up about that. And as I do each and every episode, I want to encourage you to please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. Also, if you want to get in touch with us, you can hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, or email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to all of your questions, comments, and concerns for future episodes. But until next time, my name is Zaki Hassan. On behalf of Brian Hall, this has been Movie Film 134. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zaki and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.